DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Wedding Chat with Jeremy Brech and Dave Ternier.
Good evening, everybody.
I was doing the countdown for the SpaceX rocket launches in my head when John was counting us in here. Thanks, John.
Yeah, I felt like I don't know. I didn't feel like anything actually. Well, hey, we're gonna keep the show semi-short. We've got a lot of good content to give out tonight. As long as I think we're doing the right content, what are we doing tonight?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Ternier, DJTV.com.
I'm Jeremy Brech, DJ Jer Events and Lighting in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as well as DJ Jer Shop Time.
Shop Time. And I looked up how many Shop Time videos you had the other day because I was creating a bio for you with a CPDTA thing involved. And you've got like 170-ish videos?
194. Well, 194 that are public.
Well, I only saw like 180 that were public. So you're hiding out on me, buddy.
Well, I just posted 5 last night.
Oh, nice.
I just posted 5 new ones last night. So yeah, it's all about ellipsoidals and Fresnels.
Ellipsoidals and Fresnels.
Mm-hmm.
I said that word wrong last time. I got it right tonight. I'm happy about that.
Fresno?
Yeah. Yeah, don't show it to me in the written form or I'll screw it right up.
That's what it looks like. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight because we actually talked about that when we talked a little bit about NAMM. So Dave, the topic tonight, a gentleman actually reached out to me and he said, you guys were going to talk about bridal shows. And then all of a sudden you started talking about NAMM and you went on this whole NAMM thing and NAMM. And NAMM, damn NAMM. But NAMM was, like I said, NAMM, let's not talk about NAMM. NAMM was a great show. Let's talk about bridal shows. Obviously, some people are still in bridal show season. Some people are gearing up for bridal show season. Some people came off of bridal show season. We're right now in the middle of bridal season or bridal show season, which is always kind of exciting because that's where you probably book 80%, maybe 70% of your business in a matter of 6 weeks? Would that be about right? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, a little different for me. I'm spread out a lot more over the year.
People don't leave Canada in the wintertime. They don't leave their house. So that would make sense. Not a lot of bridal shows in Canada at that time.
We've talked about this before, but I get the bulk of my inquiries and bookings in the summertime when I'm working at my events.
Yeah.
People see me, they go, whoa, what is that? Tell me more. And yeah.
Amazing.
So, I do participate in a wedding show every year and it's a pile of fun, even though this year was a little more stressful than normal, but we can get into that in a moment.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. So here's a couple things that I think people are trying to learn. They're trying to get away or they're trying to get out of this show here tonight. And it's a matter of 30 minutes. A lot of questions come up. What do you do prior to the wedding show, or what do you do going into the wedding show? What do you do at the wedding show? What do you do after the wedding show?
Yeah.
And I think that's really a good landmark, or some really good things to be thinking about. Is you can't just be at the bridal show and call it good.
True.
Our goal at the bridal show isn't to sign people up right there. It's not to, oh yeah, we're going to send you your contract. You're going to sign it right here, right in front of us. That's not our goal at the bridal show. And I'm pretty sure that's the same for you. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. How do you gear up for your bridal shows? What do you do to prep? What do you do to encourage? What do you do to network? I know that you collaborate a little bit on your bridal show. So let's talk about going into, how do we start?
So for myself and Stacy, who is the person I kind of collaborate with, we start, 3, 4, 5 months out, just brainstorming, what are we going to do different? Are we going to do partnered booths where the booths are next to each other and we kind of make them look the same, or are we not? And this year, Stacy, my photographer friend, her due date was 14 days after this scheduled wedding show date.
Oh, perfect. So you got plenty of time.
So she was like, "God, Dave, I could be having a baby that day." So we opted to change very little. And the complexity of the day, her being pregnant notwithstanding, was further made awkward by the fact that I had a wedding almost 4 hours away the night before. So I didn't roll back into town until 7 a.m. Slept for 30 minutes and then went to the wedding show and finished setting up. So we both knew that we were going to be, I was going to be running on empty and she may or may not be there. It may be a cardboard cutout of her there. Okay. So we didn't change a whole lot this year. So I will say prep wise, we didn't do as much this year as we did the previous year, for instance. Sure. But we did add one thing that I can chat with. Oh, a couple of things, I guess. One thing that was minor, one thing we hoped would be bigger, and it was a failure. But why don't we save that for a little later?
All right. Yeah, no, that sounds good. Some of the things that we kind of focus on going into is, and I think we actually talked about this in one of the previous shows, we always make sure that business cards, we have plenty of business cards. We make sure that all of our literature is, the little folders that we hand out. Let me see if I can even find, and I don't see any right now. But we hand out little folders because everyone does like the three-fold pieces of paper or whatever it is. Right. And I mean, our goal was to do something different, something that, would be in their hands that is a little bit more unique. Yeah. We have, we make sure our pens, we have enough pens. We make sure that our system is ready to go. So our DJ EP is geared up, ready to go. So once the inquiry comes in, what happens with it and do all that. So that's kind of the post. We'll talk about that as we go into later on in the show here. But that pre-prep, I think, is probably the most important thing, because if you're not prepared going into the show, you're not going to look prepared at the show. And that's going to reflect you as a company. It's going to reflect you as a performer. So us, who are supposed to be the MC, who's planning and prepping and doing all this, if you go to the show and you look unorganized, that's a sign right there that you're probably not going to get very many bookings.
So true.
So I think preparation is extremely important going to any wedding show. And I think what did we talk about that? So like usually around, all the, gear, how do you prepare yourself for engagement season? I think is where all this conversation was in before.
Right.
So, I think, we see a lot of bridal shows happening right after the new year. And then I think the next show for us is in the middle of March. So you have all of that stuff that just came in from Christmas and from New Year's. And then you have after Valentine's Day. So, we'll probably finish with, what shows are the best shows. We'll probably finish with that because one of our DJ companies in our area, he put on our local Facebook page. He asked, what are the best shows to get into? And that's such a really loaded question. It's a very loaded question. Yeah. So I think we could probably end with that, but we talked about prepping. So let's talk about what you do at the show. and how you engage people. What does your booth look like? What does your booth feel like? What do you look like? What do you feel like? I mean, not that I want to feel you. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a picture of my booth from this year that I'm going to show. So, Jeremy, do you have any pictures of your booth?
You know what? I have video. So what I'll do is I'll actually put the video on. I'll put the video on John's DJNTV.
Got it. So, John, I don't know if I can screen share and see if this will show up, but let's see if this works. Hold up here. So can you see this? I don't know if people at home can be able to see this very clearly.
Yep.
You see any of that?
Yep.
So that's my booth on the left, showing on the left, and that's Stacy's booth on the right. That's how we set up the booth, our booth this year. So those are two 10 by 10 booths, and we've just removed the little wall that's in between them, and we've put those custom cookies and coffee station in the middle there. So those cookies are branded with our logos, and ridiculously popular. We get 300 cookies printed up or made. This wedding show attracts, God, I should know these numbers. Brian just told me what the numbers were. It was record attendance. Were there almost 300 brides there? I can't remember. It was really good anyway.
Well, I guess we'll find out if Brian's actually watching the show.
Right, exactly. So anyway, the booths, as mentioned before in a blog post that I wrote on how I learned to love a wedding show again, or something like that, they are designed to look very similar. That's on purpose. We want people to kind of scratch their heads and go, huh? What's going on here? Because it allows me to start talking about Stacy and vice versa. It allows her to start talking about me instead of us talking about ourselves, which is a really neat icebreaker and something worth trying. It's not for everybody, but it works for us. And we had the director's chair over here because she was like, Dave, I'm pregnant. Bring me one of those chairs of yours. So that's what our booth looked like. Yeah, I have a controller here. I've got a little Bose speaker set up. I'm DJing, having some fun. Stacy and I are dancing in the aisles. Yeah, she's dancing, even though she's pregnant. We're known to be that. We're known to kind of be a little party central in our area. And that I think is really, really important because I want people to get that I'm a fun guy. Yeah, he slept 30 minutes, but that's okay. So that's how our booth looks. Now, you'll see two big signs on top of our booths. Jeremy saw this sign standing up behind me, and he thought it said eating moments, but that's because the C and the R were cut off in the video picture.
That's what it says. Look behind you.
Yeah, it does. So creating moments, preserving memories. Stacy and I thought it was a clever little thing to do. The preserving memories, that font matches the font in her logo. The creating moments matches the font in one part of my logo.
Nice.
So we both thought, those would be funky signs, just help people kind of maybe figure out what's going on. And the sign, of course, for me is going to be something I'm going to stick up on the wall here somewhere. I like those two words. They say a lot to me in my business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll just point out on the left-hand director's chair, right in front of my booth, you'll see a little sign. I'll show you a close-up of that sign in just a moment, but that's the failure. Before I get to that, Jeremy, what'd your booth look like?
Yeah, so this year, the thing was, like, for some reason, we kept doing the same booth over and over. It was up lights and, using our branding color. Yeah. And then it just kind of dawned on me. It's like, it really dawned on me in January when Electro Voice was like, hey, we want to bring you out to Anaheim and create this really cool show for our booth at NAMM. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And so, we started the conversation obviously a long time ago, but as I'm designing their show, I'm like, I am such an idiot. I'm like, why am I not doing this for my own booth? Why am I not using my strengths, what I am good at, and what I can show what makes me different than every other DJ company? So what I did is I created a video. I got video footage from some of our performances, some great pictures that I got from photographers. I did a voiceover. I put it all together in a video on our screens. And then I created a lighting design to go along with music, and basically I kind of take people on this journey. And it's about 6 minutes. The reason I made it 6 minutes is because we also had a giant Plinko table that we used. So a lot of people know what Plinko is. If you don't know what Plinko is, go check it out. But we had custom built this Plinko table, and it would take on an average of 6 minutes for someone to come to our booth, talk to our people, get signed up at our booth. So we get their information right away. And then once they sign up, they get Plinko chips, and then they play the game. It takes about 6 minutes for that rotation to happen. So they're waiting, or they're listening, and they're seeing all of this happen. And it talks about, imagine your first dance as husband and wife. And then all of a sudden, the whole mood of the lighting changes. And all of the color that's happening on the video is happening in the lighting around them.
Nice.
And creating this beautiful atmosphere. When there's energy, the lights are creating energy. When it talks about, imagine a beautiful snowfall during your first dance, all of a sudden it just starts snowing over the top of all these people at our booth. And basically we wanted to put people in the feeling that they were at a performance, or that they could put themselves in that moment. And you talk about creating moments, putting themselves in that moment in time, as if it was their wedding, or if they were at that wedding. And like I said, it just kind of like, I'm like, why am I not doing this? Why am I not taking advantage of our own talents at a local level? We're doing mobile beat. We're doing, we teach lighting design out at AC. We're going out to Anaheim for the last 2 years to work on a NAMM booth. And I mean, we're working with big budgets there. It's like, why am I not doing this with my own equipment? Why am I not doing this with our own talent? And so that was our big push. That was our big thing that we did this year. And it was great. It just showed that we were more than just a DJ company. It showed that we were about capturing a moment, creating a moment, and really creating this timeline in 6 months.
And you have a video you're going to show us of that?
I don't have it right now. Like I said, I don't even have it loaded up. Sarah actually recorded it on my phone, or on her phone. So I'm going to I'll try and get that video up. I'll put it on our YouTube channel, or the DJ JR Shop Time YouTube channel. But the problem is it has music like Ed Sheeran's Perfect. It has Bruno Mars' Finesse. It has a bunch of these other songs.
Auto bots that troll the videos. Great stuff.
It's annoying.
Okay.
But no,
on the next show that Jeremy and I do when we're both here, because I can't be here next week, but maybe we'll try to roll like a little snippet of it during the show live so that YouTube doesn't nab it.
Yeah, for sure.
Promise that to everybody, because there's a few people asking in the chat right now. They want to see just a glimpse of what it looks like. So, real quick,
I'll get it up, and I'll get it up for next week. Yeah, since Dave will not be here next week, I think we'll talk about weddings and lighting design for weddings. That's probably going to be our focus. Since Dave won't be here, I'll be able to take one-on-one questions, and really just make Dave jealous and why he wasn't here.
Exactly. Real quick though, there was one comment. Don't tell me, everybody has brochures. I just got some printed. Look, I don't think brochures are out. I think it's just I think brochures are just another. Don't just make them look like everybody else's. Like take the opportunity of your brochure to make it a unique reflection of you. I don't know if you've got any materials there, Jeremy, but I've got mine here. So this is my brochure here. This is what it looks like. So it's got my company logo. It's got my tagline.
I'll grab mine. Hold on.
It has a quote from a mother of the bride on the top, which I can read out to you because you probably can't read it. It was also perfect. You have me spoiled for any future weddings. End quote. It says Joan, mother of the bride. And just so people are aware, the inside of my brochure doesn't include any of my own words, actually. All it includes is a heading and a quote from a past couple or their parents or a vendor that somewhat goes along with that heading, and then a photograph that ties all that together. So that's all my brochure is.
So,
talented spokesperson. There's a quote from a photographer and a result of what my talented spokesperson is creating. And that's just all mine is. And on the very back, it says, in order to maintain my unique level of service, I take on a limited number of wedding couples each year. If you're interested in discovering what you and your fiance might fit in with the Special Request Weddings family, I'd love to begin a conversation with you. It's got my signature and then my contact info. That's mine for anybody curious and wondering.
Yeah, and absolutely. I'm not saying do not do any print or do not do a brochure. You have to put something in their hands, because if you don't, then they're walking away with absolutely nothing. In Plinko, what we did is we branded everything. So we had We had water bottles, we had t-shirts, we had $50 off a DJ service. Basically, so many people come to these shows because they want to win something. They want a prize. They want whatever it is. They want a deal. So interactively, that's how we connect with them. That's how we take time. That's how we get them to sign up, is you get to win a prize, a $5 Starbucks, which has our information. We basically put a label or a sticker on every single gift card that has our website, our phone number, our email, and our company name. Right. But the brochures that we hand out, it's actually just a small folder. Okay.
Oh, very cool.
It's very simple. That's too much light. Hold on. There we go.
Nice. Yeah.
On the back, it has just our simple information. Okay. All this is logo on the front. When you open it up, open the folder. Basically, this right here, these are all testimonials.
Nice. Very cool. I like that folder.
Single pocket folder with 3 different inserts in that guy.
Gorgeous.
Okay. But these three inserts, I put your wedding. Okay. So basically all of these big words that you see, these are the keywords that we have on our website. These are the keywords we have on our t-shirts. These are the keywords that we really push when we talk about who we are and what we do. Okay. I'm not going to read it word for word, but then on the back of each one, there's pictures of moments that we've created,
right?
Whether that be in lighting, whether that be in an introduction, whatever it is. Okay. So the next one is lighting design. It's kind of the second part of what we do. Again, using those same exact words, but using them in different sentences now. And then on the back, the layout's a little bit different.
Very cool. Okay.
Bill shows, and all of our information is on every single card. And then the last one, because everyone asks, what's your pricing? Here's our wedding pricing with those keywords again. Okay. And it says an unforgettable wedding day personalized by a creative and passionate professional, guaranteed to give you the lasting memories. Enjoy a fun wedding reception you and your guests will never forget. And then basically we don't put, this is how much our price is, because our pricing can always change. DJs can always change in pricing. As soon as they kind of hit that next level, their price is going to go up. So what we did is basically said our packages start at, and then if you want to learn more about which personality is the best fit for you, come sit down, have a consultation with us. So they know our starting price, they know our average price. And the key is to, again, get this in their hands. So if they're wondering about pricing, we've given them a number, but to learn more on, the options, they have to actually sit down with us. We're not going to give them all of the information right there.
Right.
And once, again, if they have this, if they've played Plinko, then they're automatically signed up in our system. So they're getting the email follow-ups that basically say, hey, thanks for checking us out at the booth. Love to sit down with you, so on and so on. So DJ EP, again, is a huge part of our post wedding show stuff.
Right. Very cool. I like it. So 2 different brochure ideas for everybody, what I do and the little folder that Jeremy has. Jeremy, that folder is what? Is it like 5 inches wide or so?
I would say it's probably like 4 by 6.
Oh, 4 by 6. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
Very nice. Very clean. I like it. And you've referenced a couple of wedding shows. So I get the impression you do a lot more wedding shows. I mean, I do 1 show a year. So the downside of that is I don't get to practice, test out a few things, and then refine for 2 or 3 weeks from now. So I like listening to you talk about this because you've obviously got some systems figured out and you really push the swag, which is awesome. And obviously, as a reminder, I think most folks know, but Jeremy has a couple, has some staff as well. Whereas with me, it's just me. So I know someone asked earlier, what did they ask? Dave, do you turn away a lot of brides because you're a single op? Absolutely. Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. But Jerry, you're working at the next level, which is really great.
And the thing is, I was visiting with a gentleman this morning. He was asking about, I love your show. I love the videos. I see what your company's doing, and that's kind of the direction we want to go. And he said, explain your success. And I said, the reason I'm successful is because I failed. I've tried things out. I've tried things at wedding shows in the past. I've built huge booths. I mean, we're talking, I'm bringing in forklifts for our booth. We've done rigging motors for our booth. We've done some huge things for our booths. And, were they good? Yeah. Was it worth it? No. I mean, nobody was going to get everything that we were putting up. So it's like, what is it that's going to pull people in? What's going to catch their eye? Because again, everyone was doing uplighting. We still did uplighting, but nobody brought snow machines to the table. Nobody was doing the dancing on the clouds as people were walking by. I mean,
I wanted to do dancing on the cloud at my booth this year, but I couldn't logistically with all the crap I had going on.
It's such an eye catcher. So when you talk about all the different shows that we do, there's one show that we put a lot of focus in. We get usually like a 2.5 booth space. And we kind of create this whole entire atmosphere. We do a white floor. We get white padded floor, like that puzzle floor that you can get. Yep. We do that on the floor. It looks really sharp. And it's also good for you and your employees because you're standing the whole time. Yeah. You better be standing the whole time. You better not be sitting behind a table.
So true.
And then we have some other shows that we do. Like there was a show when I was in Anaheim that some of my other team took care of. We have another show coming up in March. And then in the summer, there's a show that goes on that's actually like a traveling bridal show. So the brides actually get in these limos. The limos take them to all these different locations where there's a DJ, there's a venue, there's a catering, so it's like they're kind of walking into a wedding. And that happens in the summer. So again, there's certain shows that work. There's certain shows that don't work. And like I said, that question that came up of, what are the best shows to be in? Well, you have to start asking yourself, what type of people are you trying to get? The people or the bridal shows that are free admission, you're probably working with more of a budget bride. If you're not looking for budget brides, those might not be the best shows. But if you have shows that are, you look at KC out in Chicago, and some of these other bridal shows where they're charging like $20 to $50 a show to get in, that's probably our clientele who aren't afraid to invest in getting into a show to find the right people. But the people who are coming just for the free stuff, if you're trying to get the high dollar bride, probably not the best show for you.
So true. Yeah, so true. Yeah, they charge a bit to get into the show that I'm a part of. So somebody just asked you quickly, how many brochures do you guys print for the average show? Well, I got like 1,500 of these printed like a year or two ago. And I use these as my business card, FYI, for people curious. I don't actually own a business card anymore. This is it.
I have one. I have the old one.
The old business card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible at business cards. People give me business cards, and you know what I do with them? If I want to remember that person, I put their information into my phone, and then I toss the business card. If I don't know if I need to remember that person, I just make sure I have them on Facebook and then toss the business card.
So that's why you only talk to me on Facebook, is what you're saying.
That's right.
Great.
So that's why if I'm going to give something now, it's going to be something that people have to think twice about before they throw out. And these are not cheap, by the way. Jerry, I don't imagine what you did is cheap either, but these things cost me, God, how much did these cost me? These are like $2.50, $3 a piece. These are expensive, but they're on, heavy grade paper. I like good quality paper. Don't let that look. If you want to be respected when it comes to your pricing as a mobile DJ, stop going cheap everywhere else in your life.
It reflects you as a company.
Oh my God. I love good quality paper, and you've no idea how many people I'll hand this to, and they'll literally go, oh,
wow, that's thick.
Yeah, because I feel good.
We printed out about 1,000 of these folders. So we ordered them like way in advance. We've been using the same folders for probably 4 years now.
Nice.
And we haven't really changed up our marketing strategy with our wording and everything. We still use those same exact words in all of our, in everything we do. And consistency is important. When you're ready to rebrand, then maybe go with a different look or maybe go with something different. But, don't be afraid to buy in bulk if you know that something's going to work or if you feel good about a marketing material. So again, these folders have been great for us. We've been using the same ones for the last however many years. Anything else that we need to go over? Any other questions that we need answered or for anybody's questions that we can?
Do you use DJ Event Planner? Yeah, both Jer and I use DJ Event Planner. Getting copies of the brochure. I'm not comfortable sending out a copy. I hope people can be inspired by what they see. I mean, I've described what it is, and you can go back in the video if you need the description again. Jeremy, are you cool sending out a copy of your brochure, or just as
I'm kind of the same way because it was, oh yeah, we've been branding those same exact words, and I mean, I hear local companies saying, oh yeah, we've been using the same words that you use all the time.
Yeah,
it's like,
so I guess I mean, feel free to take the idea if you want, but certainly work on making it your own.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, just like your booth, figure out what makes you unique, and develop that idea around your booth. So ours is lighting design. We are, and there's other great lighting people in our area. Don't get me wrong, but that's our niche. That's what really separates us from everybody else. Our role is in master ceremonies. I'm fortunate actually in the one that we put a lot of time into. We actually work on a breakfast before the show opens where I'm the master ceremonies, and there's one specialized company for each part of the industry. So there's one photographer that gets up and talks about their business for 5 minutes, videographer, cake person, catering company, all of that. In my role as the master ceremonies, I get to talk about my company as the DJ service. And I talk about what to look for in their DJ. And if you're going to do something like that, don't just make it us, me. Make it about, here's what you should be looking for. Listen to me because I'm the professional in this industry. Right. And when you start making it about them and making sure that they're getting the right information and not just your information, then they're going to give you a lot more respect, and you're going to get a lot more people at your booth to talk to you. So that's one thing that we really focus on, is just making yourself different. So make your literature different. Find some photos that are yours. If you're doing any brochures, you'd be amazed how many times I go on Google and I'll put one of my images in Google and I'll find that on like 5 or I think the most I found, there was one picture that was on 23 different websites.
Nice.
That was mine. And so when I reached out to them, it was, can you prove it that it's yours? I'm like, you really need me to prove it that it's my photo? I mean, hey, whatever you're doing, just make sure it's yours.
Yeah. Well, on the note of photos, David Ellick commented, I think Dave works with his photographer friend for quality pictures. And you know what? Ironically, Stacy, forgive me, well, she knows. Not a single one of Stacy's photographs is in this brochure, which is terrible because I'm a booth mate with her. But
not very good at capturing moments.
Yeah. All of these pictures, though, with the exception of this one right here, this is an iPhone picture. But all these pictures have been taken by professional photographers, every single one of them.
Yep. Same with all of our photos.
Yeah. And if you don't have relationships with the photographers you're working with,
start networking.
Back up the bus and go and figure out how to do those relationships, because the moment you can, you're going to watch your relationships with your clients change. If you can really make positive relationships with your with your photographer colleagues. I did a blog post on pro photos for pro DJs. Look it up on djthought.com if you want my in detail process of how I get the photos. I mean, this wedding here, the photographer just sent me a Dropbox link to download all 2 gigabytes worth of photographs from the entire wedding. She's like, here, Dave, have them use them for whatever you want. That's the type of relationship you want with photographers you work with. So that's where my images come from. And yeah, Jeremy's right. Stop using other people's photos. Where's the pride in that? Quick question, John Sawyers. This question may be too much. As a wrap up, do you think bridal shows will be the way folks shop for services 5 years from now? Will video be even more important? I think bridal shows will continue to be something people want to touch and put their hands on, but there will be a larger online component to them.
Yeah, I don't think bridal shows right now are the end all. I think it's just an opportunity for different brides to connect differently. You're going to have a lot of people that will never go to bridal shows. The Knot, Wedding Wire, I think those websites are going to become more popular. But I think at a local level, I believe it's important that you need to start documenting what you do as a DJ company, and you start almost having an online wedding show. within your website. So as if a couple was coming to your website, it would be as if you were interactively with them. I think you're going to start seeing that in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Where a chat board or an automatic video pops up. Hey, someone wants to video chat on your website. You're going to open up your phone, and instead of doing this little texting chat thing, you're going to have a face-to-face conversation with somebody. I think that's where it's going to be in the next 5 years. And
don't forget, 75% of the reason I participate in a wedding show is just to be a part of the wedding community. I think we forgot to say that, but it's networking, it's meeting the other vendors there, it's saying, hey, I haven't seen you in a couple months, how are things? That is the majority of my reason for being a part of a wedding show. If I get a few events from it, great. But I'm a team player, and I want the public to see that as well. So here's our next couple of weeks. Yeah, here's our next couple of weeks as we wrap up here. I will be doing wedding lighting next week, basically community, I believe. Is that right, John? As a community?
Yes, you'll be doing the DJ hangout and talking lighting next week.
Yep. So we'll be doing wedding lighting next week. And then we will have one more show before we do a Mobile Beat show together.
Mobile Beat show, yes. We're going to see if we can do something Wednesday night from Mobile Beat.
Right.
Yeah.
Going to be awesome.
Should be fun.
Good. Looking forward to seeing you guys.
All right. Good night, everyone. Cheers.
Good night. Have a good one.
Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJNTV Insiders.